Got to pose for a thumbnail. My thumbnail pose. All right, let me quit playing. All right, you guys, you already know what it is. Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist, back with another live stream, back with another topic I want to address. All right. And this is basically a rhetorical question for you guys. Do you guys think that social media is the biggest potential downfall for Black society? I just want to share with you guys my thoughts and my suggestions on this topic. All right. And I want to illustrate a couple of points addressing this topic. All right. So, yeah, I want to talk about this topic. Before I start on that, if you are new to this live stream, if you are new to this channel, once again, my name is Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist. On this channel, I talk about counter racism. I also talk about issues that affect Black people collectively as a group, and I offer my suggestions on how to replace this broken system of injustice, this broken system of racism, which is white supremacy, with a system of justice. So if you are new watching this live stream or on this channel and you subscribe to that ideology, subscribe to this channel. If you don't and you vehemently disagree with this topic or this ideology or this channel or my beliefs, subscribe anyway. Again, you're just a view count and your job is to troll or hate watch. Go ahead and subscribe. The more, the merrier. All right. So we back live again Sunday night. And I wanted to bring this topic up. Let me go in the chat too, because I really don't go in the chat that often, just to see what you guys are talking about before I start. But anyway, so the topic at hand is social media the biggest potential downfall for Black society? And I want to bring in a couple of points, to illustrate what I'm talking about, to basically understand why I came up with this topic. All right. So you guys, I don't know if you guys have been following me for a long time, you guys know my profession. I work in the information technology industry. All right. Which is basically technically professional services. I do consultant work, et cetera, et cetera. That's my bread and butter. That's my profession. Okay. I have, tons and tons of certifications, things of that nature. I just got certified from EMC with their newest storage technology. Also with Cisco HyperFlex. If you're not familiar with that, just look that stuff up. Cisco HyperFlex, Cisco Meraki's. Also took an exam that I passed last month from Citrix, which is mobility. So, I have a lot of background and studies of information technology. Again, that's my bread and butter. That's what I do as a profession, right? And I'll have also, when this video goes uploaded on my channel, I'll have somewhere up here where I talk about the importance of information technology in the so-called Black community. All right, I did an interview with Sister Renee a few months back. Y'all got to check that out. Was slept on. All right. But anyway, like I said, the topic at hand, we're dealing with social media. Is that the biggest potential downfall for Black society? All right. So the reason why I talked about, information technology, et cetera, and why that's so important and why I'm such a huge advocate for that is because The technology that is created, right, for the most part, it's dominated and controlled and owned by the dominant white society, right? They own and control the technology. You're watching me live on Google, right? YouTube is owned by Google, which is parent company. That's what I mean by Google. So you're watching me live on technology that is owned and controlled by Google, which is YouTube. Okay. So Black people, we don't own or control anything regarding Google or YouTube. Okay. You guys know both of these websites are the most popular websites in terms of traffic in the world. Google's number one, YouTube is number two, right? So the technologies that we rely on, we on our cell phones constantly. We're using apps, social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you name it. Everybody is trying to come up with an app. You got guys like Tariq Nasheed with their Moros app. I finally did sign up for that. And I'm just there for support. Like anybody that's Black that has an application, I'm willing to support. I know Brother Polite has one as well. Things of that nature. So, we need to have more of that, right? But again, the technology that is owned and controlled by the dominant white society is basically just used as a mirror mechanism tool for us. I'm talking about specifically for Black people. All we got to do is point a camera. Our cell phones have cameras. Point a camera in front of someone and watch something happen instantly, right? Case in point. I'll put it on my monitor. You guys may have seen this, all right? I've seen this, but I haven't talked about it yet, which I'm going to talk about it right now. All right. So this was the hashtag mannequin challenge that was done last week in some guys in Alabama. I'm gonna just be straight up blunt, raw and uncut and honest with you guys. You got some low life Black thugs out here criminalizing themselves, acting stupid, acting ignorant, and they want to do a mannequin challenge their own quote unquote hood way. And here's the result. Let's look at the video. Starts out with caution. All right, so you see right there, family, that right there is the fuel for white supremacists and coons. All right, that's the fuel for white supremacists and coons. All they got to do is talk about, what about Chicago? What about the 2,000 niggas that shot and killed each other in Chicago? They'll talk about this mannequin challenge video. You see all these dumb Negroes out here with guns pointing at each other for the mannequin challenge when there's Black on Black crime, right? This is exactly what they're going to be talking about. And rightfully so, that these dudes that were in this damn mannequin challenge, quite a few of them got arrested, seized with weapons and drug charges, et cetera, et cetera. Again, rightfully so. You have all of these, Instagram thugs, these social media thugs. They're out here, rob a bank, They go on IG or Snapchat and they show off the money. They show off whatever they stole. And obviously not knowing that police officers are monitoring social media. All right. Which is, you know, that's very common. They monitor all websites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. They monitor all that stuff. And so as soon as you post something with a whole wad of money, within 24 hours or less, you'll be arrested. And that's exactly what happened with these guys who did the so-called mannequin challenge, right? Again, the potential downfall for social media in Black society, right? And I'm going to draw a parallel also between how social media and the technology that's being used today is really no different than how it was back in the Jim Crow era during the evolution of tabloid magazines in the 1960s, et cetera, right? So that's one example, right? You know, like I said, these guys, a bunch of, you know, low-life thugs that are just fuel for white supremacists and coons to talk about. Look at these Negroes with these guns, right? This is exactly why there's so much black on black crime, et cetera, right? And there was another video which I just saw earlier today, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, I mean, I'm gonna play the video and give you guys my thoughts, but this video is very interesting. All right, put it back on my monitor so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This video is very interesting. I'm gonna play it real quick. So that was interesting. Right? This guy came up with a basically a prank with his fiance. As far as what I'm told, that the guy that proposed to his fiance is a police officer. As far as what I'm told, I'm not 100% sure, but he basically worked with his co-workers, his fellow quote unquote police officers, and they did this scheme or this prank for his fiance, right? And I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw it, I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, I thought the nigga was gonna get shot. I was just like, okay, I was waiting for him to get shot. It seemed that was gonna happen, but I did notice when I saw it for the first time, and I noticed that both of those guys, they had tasers and not actual guns. I was like, that's interesting. I wonder what's going to happen. But I thought he was going to get shot, you know, regardless. So that did catch me by surprise. Now, after all of that went down, I sat back and I was like, okay, well, let me take myself out of that and let me put myself in the position of a victim, right? Or a victim of a family member who has been executed or shot by a suspected race soldier, okay? Y'all go to the website, The Counted, which I always go to all the time, that keeps a count of police killings in the U.S., all right? And it's right now is a total of 1,007 in totality for 2016 this year. That's over 1,000 dead bodies by the hands of so-called law enforcement officers, right? And so I was thinking about the victims of people being shot and killed by so-called police officers, right? Of course, you have, Tamir Rice, you have Walter Scott. All right. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So I was thinking about those. I was thinking about those people. And that really got me upset. When I was thinking about people who died in the hands of law enforcement officers, and this guy tried to make light of the situation, but it's still an ongoing problem. And Black people, we don't have a solution that we can agree upon. We have to agree upon a solution, then execute the solution. But we're not even at stage 1. We're at stage 0. We're trying to come up with some sort of plan to combat the system of injustice, right? And most Black people don't even acknowledge the system of injustice. They think business as usual, right? So, yeah, I mean, I was thinking about the victims, and that really got me upset after watching this video. Again, this guy tried to make light of the situation, but we have a serious situation with the execution and police brutality, if you will, from police officers against Black people specifically. So that's a huge problem that, again, we don't have a solution for. We just don't. Okay. So again, this goes back to the topic I was talking about. Is social media the biggest potential downfall for Black society? Right. And again, this is a topic that you guys can address yourself in the comment section. You let me know what you guys think down below. All right. And, the parallels of this with social media and technology today, as far as what's being said and how it's used, is no different than it was in Black tabloid magazines back in the 1960s. I'll give you an example real quick. All right, on my screen right now, this is a tabloid magazine from 1960s. All right, it's called "It's Happening: The News Others Dare Not to Print." This is a real tabloid magazine back in the 1960s. This was published October 1966, as you can see, volume 1, number 8. And y'all see that Black Power, new symbol, right? Wealthy Negroes support segregation. All right. Here's some others for an example. She used knife to save husband. Racket exposed. All right. This was obviously, I could pretty much tell this is the word ratchet back in the 1960s. But they use racket exposed. Negro male sex habits changing. Models never can say no. All right. Stuff like this. This is basically media takeout, world star hip hop back in the 1960s. Okay. This is what they've been using in the 60s, and now it's in technology and websites and social media, Instagram accounts, et cetera, et cetera. That's what it's about today. So again, it's really no different. It's really no different. All right. So this goes back to what I've always been saying. If you guys follow me for a long time, I'm just a constant, huge advocate on technology. Instead of worrying about being ballers and athletes and rappers, right? We need to have more coders. We need to have more developers, software engineers, right? You got to know how to code in Flash. You got to know how to code in HTML5. All right. Yes, Flash is still being used, believe it or not. All right. Even though it's becoming more obscure, it's still a very niche market that needs Flash developers. Trust me. I know. All right. That's just an example. We need more people, particularly African Americans classified as Black. Okay. We need more people who understand information technology, what it is, and how it works, how to implement it, and also owning and controlling our own businesses, similar to a Google, similar to a YouTube. All right. You have the largest search engine website of all time, which is Google. And then you have the largest video sharing platform of all time, which is YouTube. And the average Black person does not know the back end of people who use YouTube, like myself, that depend on Google's resources for our intellectual property to work correctly. Right? Because you're watching me live right now. If live stream didn't work or something happened, I'll be pissed. I'm like, well, how can I get my message across if Google's servers, all right, are not working correctly, right? People want to talk about, oh, views, you know, you're getting this amount of views, you're getting that amount of views, et cetera, et cetera. Again, it's a mechanism that YouTube created. They own and control that stuff. They know how to develop that stuff. They know how to test it. They know how to implement it. The average Black person doesn't. All right. We make up less than 1% in information technology. Those are facts. So we either have to let social media be our potential biggest downfall in Black society or control our own narrative, which is what I already explained. Understanding information technology, what it is and how it works, implementing and creating our own businesses that rival a YouTube, that rival a Google, right? It goes right back to that, right back to that. All right. So that's what it is, family. That's what I wanted to talk about. I mean, you know, those two examples of those videos, you know, were just examples. There's a plethora of other videos that you can see of Black folks just doing whatever for attention. And they get, you know, their video goes viral and it gets, you know, millions and millions of views. You know, it just goes back years and years and years and years. You know, ever since YouTube basically was created back in 2006, YouTube is 10 years old. So, you know, it is what it is, family. That's just the basic necessities for Black people to own and control our narrative is understanding information technology, what it is and how it works. Just that simple. Just that simple. All right. So I just wanted to make this video real quick and talk about those particular videos and this topic. All right. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about social media, how exactly you use it. What do you use it for? All right. Et cetera, et cetera. Like myself, I always tell you guys, I come on here and share my thoughts and that's it. I'm not a paid speaker. All right. I had a comment the other day on one of my other videos. Somebody was like, brother, you need to be more colorful. You need more flavor. I'm like, dude, I'm not no goddamn paid speaker. Nobody comes and pays to hear me speak. I come on social media, YouTube, talk about different topics, right? And share my thoughts. That's it. I'm not here to be popular. I'm not here to get a check. I'm not here asking for donations. I'm just a regular dude that is trying to come up with suggestions on replacing this broken system that we live in, which is racism, white supremacy, right? You can call it systematic oppression, systematic racism, whatever the case may be. That is the biggest downfall for Black society. And I just want to come up with ways to replace it with a system of justice. That's it. Just a regular dude. So I am not trying to be no Dr. Umar Johnson, no Dr. Klein Anderson, no Khalid Muhammad, all right? No John Henry Clark, all right? None of those people. I'm not trying to be those people. I'm being me, being a regular dude who's married, got my own house, got a big house. You know, I'm just a regular dude, pay taxes. That's it. Coach my kids' basketball team. Okay. Do volunteer work. A regular dude that wants to take some time off to get in front of his computer and talk about different topics. That's it. So if you don't like that, stop watching the damn videos. That's simple. So, you know, it's not about me getting emotional. I could care less. You know, I could care less. Okay. I come on here and talk about random topics and just offer suggestions. That's it. So also make sure you guys follow me on I know I'm talking about social media because this is the age that we're living. We live in the information age, but follow me on Instagram, The Black Separatist. All right. The Black Separatist. The link is in my description down below. All right. That lets you basically know, because I have that updated a lot more than my actual YouTube. YouTube, I'll post videos every day, every other day, or every couple of days, or, you know, at minimum once a week, right? At bare minimum once a week. But usually I try to give you guys videos every other day, if not, you know, a minimum once a week. But yeah, follow me on Instagram and you'll get more updates about when I'm doing and stuff like that. All right, family. So I'm signing out, and I do have a couple of other videos that's going to be uploaded also. So be on the lookout for that as well. Thank you guys for watching me live on this particular topic. Really appreciate you guys. All right. Once again, this is Chauncey, aka the Black Separatist. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Signing out. Peace.